Hi, I'm Patrick Prince with the Tulsa World, here with Eric Bailey, our OU beat writer. Eric's been kind of a crazy couple days. Won't you bring us up to speed on where we are on the OU coaching search?
Well, there were a lot of people, including myself, that thought maybe this search would be complete by Friday. We're entering the weekend, still waiting to see who Oklahoma's next coach is going to be. And it just really proves that Joe Castiglione is doing his due diligence. He's really looking for his candidates. And, on Monday at the press conference, he said there was a lot of names out there that are contacting him. So I'm sure he had a lot of names to go through. So we're kind of still in that wait and see mode. And I know for Oklahoma fans who have been waiting really, I want to say patiently, but I don't think they've been patient over the last 4 or 5 days. It sounds like they're going to have to wait a couple more days to find out who's going to be Lincoln Riley's replacement.
When do you expect them to make their decision?
I just got a funny feeling that, I think that there may be some candidates playing in some conference championships games this weekend. I think they're, with all due respect to the teams that are playing, I think Joe Castiglione, if that's the case, he's probably allowing them to play their games before he makes any contact with any possible candidates. I don't know that's for sure, but it just seems that way with how this has gone into the weekend. And if that's the case, if there's still some people he needs to talk to, I could see him talking to some candidates on Sunday, maybe Sunday night, making that final decision. And hopefully, for my sake, as a media member, and the players, we can't forget the players and the coaching staff. Hopefully by Monday, there will be a final name who they want to be Oklahoma's next coach.
Of the names that you've heard kind of floating out there, who intrigues you the most and why?
I'm still intrigued by Brent Venables. It's surprising that he, if the announcement was going to be made by Friday, it just seems like he would have been a slam dunk. But it just seems like Joe Castiglione may be just doing his due diligence, because I know that Oklahoma and the football program are sacrificing a few important days this week, because they're losing traction on recruiting. And, the transfer portal's opening up and there's more players entering. Bray Walker on Friday entered the transfer portal. So I know they're sacrificing some things, but this is a hire that they need, not just for immediate sake, but they need to make the right hire 5 years down the road. You don't want to look back and say, we probably should have went with this coach, or we probably should have took a couple more days and really looked around a little more. Not to say that, if they hired someone this week, that person wouldn't be a good coach, but you never want to doubt yourself. So I know it's tough. I know it's hard being patient, but I really do give Joe Castiglione credit for not being too hasty in this, being patient and making sure he has the right person in place.
If you were a betting man, who would you be betting on?
Right now, I still think Brent Venables. I just do, because I just think that he does want to take a look at some of these other coaches. I think Dan Lanning, a coach, Georgia defensive coordinator, I wrote about from Friday's paper. I think he's a solid choice, and I think he's going to be a head coach one day. And my guess is Joe Castiglione would like to talk to him just to get a feel for him. Dan Lanning is almost in the Bob Stoops mode. He's 35 years old. He's a defensive coordinator at a very successful SEC school, just a massive recruiter. There's a lot of upside to someone like that. Hasn't coached, but neither did Bob Stoops. He wasn't a head coach. Neither was Lincoln Riley. He wasn't a head coach to took the job. So I think you'd look at him. I think you look at Luke Fickell at Cincinnati. Now, I don't know if he would take the job or not, simply because he has a really good job, and that school's moving to the Big 12. He's going to have an opportunity to get to the college football playoff through the Big 12. He's proven already he did it this year. If they win, he'll do it as a non-Power 5 school. And one more name out there that we really don't talk a lot about is Dave Aranda down at Baylor. Mm-hmm. He was the one coach that really seemed to give Lincoln Riley the most problems defensively, from his days at LSU to his days at Baylor. Even games at Oklahoma, when Oklahoma beat Baylor, it was a tough game. So I think Dave Aranda is another coach that's still probably out there. Maybe Coach Stoops, or not, excuse me, maybe Joe Castiglione would like to speak to him. I don't know. But those are just three names that we're hearing. But right now, like going back to your original question, I think Brent Venables still is my pick to be the head coach. I say that on my own. I have nobody saying, the information. That's just a gut feeling. But I really do think Joe Castiglione wants to talk to a couple other people before making that final choice.
All right, changing gears a little bit. Who do you got tomorrow in the Big 12 title game, Oklahoma State versus Baylor?
You know what? It's going to be a good game. I really think it is. It's going to be a defensive battle. Both these coaches, with Jim Knowles as the coordinator for the Cowboys and Baylor, Dave Aranda's defensive minded. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I just like Oklahoma State. I think they can get a little bit more done offensively than Baylor can. I think that You know, the defense is really going to handle Baylor's offense. And you got to remember, Oklahoma State's playing for a lot more than just a Big 12 championship. If they win, especially if they win impressively, they got a chance to make the college football playoff. So they have everything in front of them. So I just think that motivation, I think that opportunity to win a Big 12 crown and play with a chip on their shoulder, because we're still, a lot of the national media aren't really talking about Oklahoma State that much. This is an opportunity to get your foot in the door and really make some noise. So Oklahoma State, it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a low scoring game, but I really like Oklahoma State in this game.
Has it been, and Eli Letterman, our OSU writer, kind of brought this to my attention, has it not been kind of a weird week, all this attention on OU, and deservedly so, they lost their coach, but OSU is playing for a conference title, and it's been under the radar this week, seemingly. I mean, they've been completely overshadowed, which might be a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing. I think it's one of those things where the pressure isn't going to mount as the week goes on. You know, the spotlight's not on Oklahoma State, and there are probably some OSU fans not happy because of that. Oklahoma State wins this game, the spotlight's going to be really hot on the Cowboys. I think it's tough this week, but if they beat Baylor, they make the college football playoff, man, the attention, everything focuses on Oklahoma State from that point on. So I know it's tough for OSU fans right now, especially with the OU news coming out, but win this game, and man, it's going to be a fun 3 weeks for Cowboys fans leading up to a college football playoff berth if they do get in.
Yeah, that's a great point. They win tomorrow, and their day will come. Well, Eric, you've written, I know it's been a crazy couple of weeks for you. You've written a lot of great stuff. If you haven't had a chance to read it, go check it out at ousportsextra.com. I know it's been crazy, Eric, but you've written some great stuff. So good job and keep it up.
Thanks a bunch, Patrick. Let's just see where this road takes us.
That's right.